How y'all doing this evening? Welcome to the Weekly Scheme Podcast. It's your host, Manson Musa Jr., and we are here with episode 11. It's how to peep energy vampires in your circle ASAP. Now, this is going to either you're going to get it or it's going to rub you the wrong way. But it's an episode that needs to be put out there, and people need to understand what it's about and and how it works. Because a lot of people don't understand how people being energy vampires works, and they think it's really. Some people think it's just like a mythical type thing, like, oh, they're going to steal my energy, but there really are people that either steer you in the wrong way or they know how to manipulate your situation or how y'all deal into their favor, which drains you of energy and not want to do anything or be better for yourself. And I'm going to start putting people onto it because I've been through it and I know what people do, and and it's very draining. And it's, the more and more people that are around you like that, like leeches, you'll be down to a point where you'll be about 25% of your energy. You'll always be tired. There's physical features, physical aspects of it, mental aspects, and I'm going to be ready to put you on all of it tonight. It's going to be real. So Manson Moose is going to do it. So we're on all platforms. We're on Facebook, the Weekly Scheme podcast group, where we talk about different topics, and we go in. We also take from what's going on in there, and hopefully becomes one of the episodes. Also, we have a chat line that's going to be open. It is open. We did it on the Talk Lounge. It's open. We're on IG, the Weekly Scheme Podcast. We're on YouTube, obviously, the Weekly Scheme Podcast. And we have a like page on Facebook. So we're on all the platforms. We also have a Twitter also. So we're on a lot of different platforms. You can, wherever you put the Weekly Scheme Podcast, we pop up. You know, it's the scheme of things is the brand, and that's what we do. But we're gonna get to sharing some of these little sites up with what we're doing right now. So that's what I'm doing now, filling it up, and then we're gonna get to business and let people know about these energy vampires and stay clear of them. All right, there we go. Let's share. All right, hope everybody having a good night. I'm having a good one. I'm not worried about too much. But now what I'm going to tell you about energy vampires is I have a lot that's actually in my phone. There's actually 5 things that it starts with, and I'm gonna start with them. All right, a lack of empathy. And if anybody knows what empathy is where you show concern or emotions towards somebody that's in a situation that you're not in, but you try to put yourself, basically what they say is you put yourself in their shoes. Okay. Now, when you have a lack of empathy for someone or their situation, you become cold hearted, and people start to wonder like why you don't care about how their feelings are. So while you're fighting with me, you start to lose your energy, and you don't know what to do. Life, reality, and spiritual journey. How are you doing tonight? Glad you could stop through. Appreciate it. And we're just talking about energy vampires in your circle and how you can recognize them really fast. And I'm just gonna give some key points on that because it's a lot of energy vampires out here right now that are using different things to scare people, tactics, and people are losing their energy and they're not understanding what's going on. And people need to understand that they have to have an armor of integrity and different attributes to be able to get through this time, or it's going to be very hard for you. Because I told people before, the suicide rate is up. It's because people can't handle it. They weren't taught the proper handling of people or dealing with people. And I'm going to try to give you some good pointers. But the lack of empathy, which it just shows, is that you don't really care, which causes somebody to feel, okay, well, why don't they care, or why are they constantly doing stuff to you? So gentrified hood brat, how are you? So what they do basically is they will go out and start to do certain things that they know that you don't like because it's not showing any type of empathy towards you. And what they'll do is they'll continue to keep doing that, which knows it bothers you, it frustrates you. And when you get frustrated and then it gets high blood pressure, different things start to come into play. It takes your energy away. You're just like, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. That's what most people say. I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. I want the day to be over. That means that you came in contact with a lot of people that are energy vampires. And most of it is a lack of empathy and you stressing and worrying about how everybody else feels when it really doesn't matter and it's really you. You know, so you got to watch out for the people that show a lack of empathy. And that's what you can do. You can always see when somebody doesn't like, if you start a conversation and you're talking about something, something's wrong with you, and they're talking about they're going to give a good ear to what you're saying, and then all of a sudden it turns into talking about their problems and they're running their mouth and you're like, what happened? I thought I was talking about me. That's right there showing a lack of empathy about giving an ear to you or what you're talking about, because it ends up to be on their subject and what they want to talk about. Okay, now we got a number 2. It's called they're childish, okay, which is actually it has to be explained, not childish as life, reality, and spiritual. Yes, it's true. So you have to watch, like, because it's some people say they know stuff and they really don't understand it. And it's from people that I'm close with. That once they say they know something, I'll be like, well, do you know the definition of it? And they'll be like, yeah, I know the definition of it. I know the definition of it. And you'd be like, well, explain it to me. Well, I think it's this thing. And I said, no. I said, what's the definition of it? And then they come out and they say a definition. And I'm like, okay, well, you want me to read the real one to you? And then you read it to them. And it's something totally different. And they're like, what? And there's other words that might be in the definition that make you start to break it down. And you're like, oh, that's nothing of what I was thinking in my brain. So you got to come from that type of mind. You got to come from that type of mind and want to learn. When they're saying that, like, that you're childish, it just means, like, no matter how old people get, they just you'll know. You'll be like, Dad, you just didn't understand it, or why you keep treating people like that? Like, you're being childish. Like, why can't you just let it go? Why do you got to keep going in about it? See, now it's always an engagement. If you notice, all the things that I'm saying with energy vampires, there's always an engagement with them. They get you and they engage you into something, which is taking your energy to think about it, to indulge in what they're talking about. At the end of the day, you end up frustrated. And you're like, I don't understand how you're even talking about it like that. And by the time you look at it, you're like, all right, well, you know what? Just whatever. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. And you just stop messing with it. But at the end of it, you're like, hey, forget it. You don't even want to think, because they're already doing childish things to you that's making you upset and going past your boundaries. And it's also not showing empathy that something's bothering you. And then here you go. You're wasting energy again. Look at it. It's the energy is being wasted and it's brought back. And now you have none. And then then you got to think about it. If you have about 5 of these type of people that you see a day, and then you think about how many times you come in contact with these people, and you just you times the 5 people that are constantly causing problems with you, or, like, you know what it is. And everybody should be understanding of what it is when you actually have an energy vampire. When somebody comes around and you know that they're always constantly in bad energy, what do? You go, oh, here they come, and then you be like, I'm bouncing, or you try to make an excuse to get away. That's how you know. That's another point of how you know they're energy vampire, because you don't even want to deal with them. You're thinking of a way to scheme and roll away from them, and that's a good sign of an energy vampire. And it doesn't matter. It's across all racial lines, family, blood, close friends. It could be anybody. Your own parents could be doing it to you. You could be doing it to your parents. But you just, most things, like the second one was childish. Most people just do funny things just to get on your nerves, or mean things, say mean things to you just to start something and get you all, or like this. Yes, yes, gentrified hood rats. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like this. There's a lot of them. And some of these things I've been, so I know for a fact, it just took a time and a process to change it. So now when people start to act childish, and they are, because you'll come out and say, but yo, why are you being so childish? Because you'll be trying to be calm to them, you know, and you'll be like, well, look, we ain't got to do it like this. And no matter what you try to say, they want to just keep coming with stuff. And you're like, why you keep bringing it up? And then you're like, yo, you're just being childish about it. So you, since you don't want to talk about it and you want to be childish, I'm just going to step off. And by the time you leave, you're still thinking about it. You're like, man, well, why would they do that? Why would they do this? You know what they're doing? They're sitting there not even thinking about anything right now. So now you're losing energy, thinking in your head while they're acting like fools or treating you a certain way. Now that's energy loss. Now you're just like, ah, well, whatever. Now that'd be a person that you see, you'd be like, oh, I'm not dealing with them because last time we was talking, it was a bad thing. So that's that. You got to watch out for that. So we got number one, what is it? A lack of empathy. Number two, they're childish. And here's number three, they're inauthentic. Now I'm gonna give you what it says in here about it, and then I'll break it down to how I took it. Okay. What it says is they have a remarkable pattern of not being genuine. They simply follow others, are always up to and value themselves through more than materialistic ways. They will judge a person by their looks, background, money, or status. They will suck up to and try to impress any person who has money. But if they're in the same room with someone of lower privilege than them, forget about it. They'll irritate and they'll initiate in any relationship with a person whom they not see a gain with. And that's, yeah, that is a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So they're inauthentic. So they come in basically and like, say somebody, like most people went to parties and you'll see somebody and then they'll be talking, they'll be somebody like trying to be the life of the party, and they're always trying to be in somebody's face, and you're like, oh man, here they go. And that's the type of person not being inauthentic. You know, you're just like, you mean, you know, that's not them. They just tripping, or they didn't got drunk, or they didn't got high, or whatever they doing. And then they come in there and they just be trying to just blend in with the crowd, make people just like them, and they'll just try to say anything. And you're like that, and you know them. You're like, that's not them. They're being inauthentic. You know, so they're just riling people up, just saying lies, doing a whole bunch of stuff that's really not them, just to get people all riled up. And then by the end of the day, you look around, you're like, and they going, you're like, because they can start a lot of stuff. People are inauthentic, they start a lot of stuff, and then they just be gone. They be a ghost. So most people that do it, and probably they'll just leave, and then people be in there bickering, arguing over some stuff that they didn't say. Then they leave and you're fighting about it, and then people start to waste their energy fighting over something that was a figment of their imagination. Somebody came, dropped it, and then left. They dropped the seed, they leave. Now you fighting over it. It's an energy vampire. You're being inauthentic, and to come to find out, they nothing like that. They nothing like that. They always just running around to different groups, trying to just mingle in. They just want to mingle. So you gotta watch some people that just always around everybody, always talking that craziness, but when stuff goes in, they're never around. Because that's not really them. People that talk trash to you all day long, but when it's 7:30, 8:30, they was always in the house, in the bed. They curfew was 7:30, 7 to 8:30, you know? And you're like, well, why you gotta go? Oh, I'm gonna go eat. Oh, my stomach hurt. And then they going, but it's always around the same time. So you gotta watch those people, man. Inauthentic people are, you know what I mean, part of the energy vampires. It's just a fact. People can't do it. All right, we got number four. They gossip. Okay, that's energy vampires. That's people that talk behind your back. They talk. They just need something to gossip about. Listen. Oh, here you go. Gentrified hood rat. That's funny that you said it. Look, because the next one is they gossip. This is their bread and butter, folks. The symptom list cannot complete without this one. They have a knack for picking up small details about a person and are more than happy to share those opinions with the rest of the world. They're always in the conversation, and you always find out that what you told them, and they were the only ones, somebody has found out about it, and you're like, I don't even talk to them. So how did they find out? Because you're the person you talk to. They didn't told about 6 or 7 other people, because as soon as they got done talking to you, they hop on the phone, they talking to her wherever they went, they just talking about your situation, what y'all just talked to. They don't hold it. The lack of empathy. Because if you tell them, don't tell nobody what we talk about, okay, but then as soon as they get around somebody, and what my dad used to call is they can't hold water. That's what my dad would say. They can't hold water. So that means that they can't hold nothing that you're trying to tell them. They got to find the first person that's not you to tell what you just told them not to say to somebody. And it's usually somebody close to you. That's why somebody all over town knows your business, because you keep telling the same person, and then you want to be foolish and act like it's not that person and they wouldn't do it, and you continuously keep telling them, and the same thing that you're telling them is the only person you're hanging out with yourself is in the streets. It's the person that you think that's close to you that you keep telling everything about. That's why most of the time they say just don't tell your business, just keep it to yourself. Because most of the time that make you want to talk and tell everybody your business, and you can't stop, and you know it's that close friend that you're dealing with, that close person, is your ego, because you just want somebody to know. So you got to watch out for those people that gossip. They're going to steal your energy vampire. They're going to steal your energy. They ain't giving it back. And if you notice, everybody that I said that does these four things that I've said so far, they're always taking energy and then they're gone. Silence is golden. I learned that a long time ago. Yes, it is. It's golden. That's why you have two ears and one mouth. Those two things on the side of your head, you should use them to listen and close the thing in the middle of your face. That's why they say I see more people broken down by words than people punching on them and hitting them with heavy metal or bats. A tongue that has no bones in it can break a lot of bones. It can destroy people. So, because gossiping is like a slinkering devil. Hey, did you hear what Jenny did with Tommy? Well, hey, Jenny just told you. Why are you telling her business to me? People that say that, I'll be like, yo, hey, listen, man. Well, I don't think they should be telling you that. I'm out. Get up out of my face. Yes, listen a lot by speaking a little. You are correct. And that's why you got to watch people that gossip. It's energy vampires. And it's a lot of people around, because it can be a family member. Say you got a sister. Every time you see her, right, she's always talking about people. And she's mostly talking about people that are in your circle that you deal with. Okay, now look at this. She's talking about everybody, talking about their business. Now you sitting there, you listening, you not stopping it. But like in your heart, like, man, I don't know why she always talking about these people, but you can't tell her because you're scared of how she's going to look at you. So now you showing empathy for something that is bullcrap that's actually taken from you. So now you don't want to say nothing to her, gossip about people. So if she's gossiping about everybody to you, about Johnny, Steven, Billy, Ahmad, you know what I mean? Raheem down the street. She's telling you about 5, 6 people every time you see you, but then you think she's leaving there and she ain't going down Stephanie's house and talking about you and what she was telling you. And they just be messy. That's what people call messy. That's what they say. They said it before, but they say it a lot more now. In the older generation, they say, yeah, you're just being messy. And that's what it is. Gentrified hood rat. If they can talk about other people, they're going to talk about you. Yes, that's 100% correct. People are just like that. That's just the way you are. And I told you, if you keep looking at it, they just doing stuff and they dropping seeds or they taking from it and getting you all riled up, and they never around. They're never around. So what does a vampire do? They come up, they bite you, and they real sly, and they can float. Hey, how you doing? And they sucker you in. Then they bite you and suck your lifeblood out of you. So take whatever that's good that makes you, all the things that you stand on, and they break it down. Now the blood goes in and the poison, and it breaks down to where you can live, but you can only come out at night because you can't shine with the sun. So now it's a whole bunch of falsehoods because you didn't let all these people do all these things that I've read so far. Because we got one more left, and it's breaking you down. It's an energy vampire. You gotta watch him. Because look, you see the guy in the back of me? He's doing that, but he's doing it while somebody's sleeping in their bed. You gotta watch what people do. They call your cell phone, call you late night. Hey man, listen, you heard about such and such. Boom, you go to sleep. That's a good person. That's a good time to catch you, because then you go to sleep. Your subconscious is gonna catch you. It's gonna get you and beat you up. Now you catching something from somebody dropping a seed on you, and it's breaking you down. They gave you the fangs, bow, in your brain, and they start to draw the energy out of you. That's why it's like a real live vampire. Well, I don't know if you want to believe. You can believe them. I don't believe, but it's just people that in the spirit they coming in and what they doing that's taking your energy from you. That's why I believe it's energy vampires. You gotta be close, get them out your circle because your team helps you, and you should be your brand, and your brand is an extension of you and whoever you have close to you. So if you got all that messed up and people that are around you that are energy vampires, they are gonna hurt you, hurt your team, hurt your brand, and nobody's gonna believe in nothing you say because you got all that craziness around you. You don't want to do your work the right way because you're getting sucked dry because you got people right next to you, getting close to you, and they tearing you up. Okay? You got to watch for it. You're going to get the number 5. And number 5 is a good one. They're overly dramatic. Okay. You know what dramatic means, but it says overly. Okay? Since the world revolves around them, if you cause discomfort to them in the smallest of ways, you're going to hear about it. They have an air of narcissism, and for some reason, there's always something bad happening in their life. It's like they only choose to focus on the negative and play a story on their mind, and that everyone is bad and out for them. They love drama because they feed off of it. They don't like to see people in harmony, so they like to stir the pot and create chaos in any good situation because they're so unhappy with themselves. They just want to make others around just as much miserable. They're overly dramatic. Now, they used to say, I was dramatic, but dramatic is something drama club. They're overly. That's why I had overly in front of dramatic. So it's dramatic, but it's overly. You're like, come on, man. Like, you know, a kid that throws a temper tantrum on the floor and everybody's like he burned me with the hot pan. It wasn't even warm. It was just a saliva. When they fall on the ground, they hold their arm and you're like, nothing's wrong with you. It was saliva on it. He just said he was going to burn you and put it on you. It wasn't really hot, okay? Overly dramatic. And there's a lot of people that are always overly dramatic, and you'd be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Like, I didn't do that to you. Oh, you smacked me upside my head. I just brushed by you. What are you talking about? It's always a problem when you come around. Oh, man. The person you come up to and you see their face and you're like, what's wrong now, man? And I try my best not to be that type of person. Like if I go through some people like, why you always don't never say nothing, you I suffer? Because I'd rather suffer than you be talking about me talking about he always wants something. Nah, Jack. I'll sit there and suffer, not eat, you done. And you know what? My wife always she says, you always act like you want to cut your nose to spite your face. I said, nah, it's not that. I just don't feel that I gotta put everybody in on my struggle because everybody isn't supposed to be told everything. You know, you gotta watch who you tell certain things because they run. The people that gossip, the people that show a lack of empathy, the people around you that they want it to be about them, and then they get jealous because you start to grow because you drop all the people around you that are sucking from you. You know, because they just wanted to use and abuse what you have, and and this is what something I said before. I said people want to hang around to steal your blessings because they can't get them, so they're just want to disrupt your blessings, get in the way, put a wedge in between it, and you're never going to get it. And that's why you always be like, dang, why can't I come up, man? It's because you got different people. You got vampires around you that are sucking your energy and throwing stumbling blocks in your way to where you can't get away. And they good at it. They hover here, they hover there, they say them good words to you, and they lull you to sleep. And then when they lull you to sleep, they stick those fangs in you, and then you're done. And you wonder why you're walking around and you're talking about what Susie did with Steve, and you're like, dang, what's up? Yes, you don't need to be known. You don't need to be known for what? It makes no sense to be. Everybody wants to be known. Everybody wants to know because if you pull out a picture that everybody in the room's looking at, then they're in. When you get that picture, who's the first person that you look for? It'd be yourself, right? Okay. So everybody has it. You do want to look for yourself. And that's just you, self, because you're supposed to love self, and then you love self, you'll love everybody else because you'll know it. That's why when people say they love everybody, I'll be like, do you really? That's kind of skeptical to me. You got to think about what you just said. You said you love everybody. How do you know? Because there's always opposite attraction. There's always opposites that's going to make you want to feel a certain way. Sure, you can't love everybody. That's almost impossible. Because even God gets mad in the Bible, don't he? And throws dread down on the people. So there's other ways that you can move in different aspects, but it's just how you choose it. But most people don't understand, and that's what gets them confused. And some people just don't want to learn. They're like, "I get out of here with the knowledge. I don't want to hear it." But that's not the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to gain the knowledge, sit back, relax, and do what you got to do. Hey, Juddy, I see you popped in the building. It's good to see you come through on this weekly scheme podcast, episode 11, how to peep energy vampires in your circle, ASAP. And you got to get them away from you, because that circle should be your close circle, and that's what's going to protect your brand and everything like that. That's why if you look at it most time, like I'll give you an example of somebody that always has a good team around them. Floyd Mayweather Jr. A lot of people don't like him, but he has a good team around him. He always does, and he has to figure out when they're supposed to be there, when they're not going to be there, and he's just good at it. You got a team that listens to him. If they don't listen to him, he fires them. He's not a bad person for firing people. They just not listen. He wants people that's going to listen to him. So if you're that type of person, you could be around him. Me, I can only take so much of Mayweather. And the way he starts to act, I haven't been around him, but I just watch him over the years. And he does a lot of things that I'd be like, yo, I agree with, but there's a lot of stuff he doesn't do. And I'm just like, I wouldn't be taking too much of that from him, and I'd be out of there. That's why him and 50 Cent don't get along, because they both had the same type of attitude. Gentrified, her rat said, we just need to be okay with duality and appreciate and not see it as a threat. Exactly. You're 100% right. Yes, you are. And it's you just have to really know yourself, figure out. That's why I used to take, well, I still do it. It's self-development, because you got to develop yourself. Because most of the times, the things that arise in you and you can't control, that's why when you got to fast during the month of Ramadan, I think it's so great, because if you can abstain from food, which is a necessity in life, if you can stop that, you can save money. You can watch when you want to talk crazy to somebody. You can stop that. You stop something that's necessity, water and food, during daylight hours till the sun goes down. Then you got to pray all day and then break down the food in a light manner to break your fast, and then eat and give servings. It makes you just humble and thankful for certain things. And you're doing it to yourself for the love of God, but it's just to make yourself come down and be grounded and just to be a better person. And that's what you want. People around you who are genuine, who really want to show love for you. That's why I always say love is love. People that want to love you for you and be you. You treat people wrong, you're going to get wrong. You treat people right, you're going to get right. Everything isn't going to be 100% peachy. You learn from your mistakes. That's why God gives you a different chance every single day to get it right. Okay? You might not be where you want to be, but you should be one step closer to it. And that's what most people don't understand. So pick your team and pick them right, and just grow yourself, and don't let people take you away. And be wary of those people that always want to be overly dramatic. So we had 5 of them. We had the lack of empathy, people that don't want to show any type of feelings towards your situation. We got they're childish. People that always want to do childish things, bring up childish things that for a situation when you're like, why you have to bring that up? Well, both of those, why you got to be childish? Watch those type of people. Number 3, they're inauthentic, which you know how they are, but they act in different groups and talk and act like there's something different. You got to watch that type of person, because they're starting a lot of things and then they'll be going. You won't know it. They'll be a ghost. And you're like, well, what happened to them? And then the stuff, and you're in a bunch of bull crap, and they got you in it. Number 4 is they gossip. Everybody knows what gossip is, and people that stick something in your back and they keep you going. You got to watch out for them people. So watch the people that gossip. And we got number 5 that we just went over. They're overly dramatic. And you know who those people are that are overly dramatic. Don't worry about them, but always protect yourself. Do what you're supposed to do, and watch the people around you and make sure they're not being those type of people that we listed in those 5 things. And it comes about. Some people are very smart. They hide it behind things. So you got to watch certain things that people do, because they'll do it in a slick way. You always have to watch people. Okay. You always have to watch them, because you never know who's doing it. You watch the ones closest to you, but we'll also watch the ones that's at a far distance because they're looking to try to attack you after somebody that was close to you tried to attack you. But you know, you just keep everybody close. It don't mean that you got to constantly like waste your energy on trying to combat these people, because that's just the vampire mentality, that you're wasting the energy. You don't want to waste it. You want to keep as much energy as you do. Self-affirmation in the morning, self-affirmation at night before you're about to go to bed. Keep yourself together. And I know that more and more that I try to do it, it helped me, and I wasn't having bad dreams, because before I was waking up out of my dream, I was bad sweat. It's just because you got a negative thinking, and somebody called you start thinking negative. You got to control your mind and try to control your thoughts and what you're giving people, because most people will not care that they drop that seed on you, and it'll be on you and it'll grow on you. And people of that same type of deceit and energy, because they're of low vibration, they'll bring it out of you, you know. So that's why you got to watch. It might not be the person that dropped the seed, but it'll be the person that's vibrating real low that's near you that'll bring it out. So you got to watch what you take in, because you can go home and somebody in your home can vibrate at a low frequency and it brings something out that somebody put in there 2 weeks ago, a year ago. But you have to watch your energy, because your energy produces everything around you. And if you don't do that, then you're good as a goner, and you're good as dead mentally and, you know, emotionally, and you're going to hurt people. And Justine said, and they are creatures of habit. They will show you the energy they bring over and over until they get away with it. Yep. And they keep going, they keep fighting on you, and they keep beating on you with it. And you're like, yo, no. And I had to teach my wife, Tony, what she didn't understand, the people that were doing it, they were beating her down with it, beating her down with it, beating her down with it. I'm like, yo, when they keep asking you the same thing, it's because they're not getting the answer that they want. So when they wait to get the answer they want, then they'll leave you alone. But it might not be something good for you. So you always got to watch what they do. You also got to watch for those people that ask for help, because they'll engulf you in their BS and have you all enclosed in it, and you don't know why your life is going bad, because them people took that bad hand that they got stuck in on you, energy went on you, and you over there just trying to help, and they then tore you up, and now you looking crazy. Now you down and out. Nobody's helping you. This person's up. They're running 100%. They're happy, and then they're not even returning the love that you gave them, and that makes you grow bitter. So you got to watch that, because that's when it'll turn you into that zombie. That most of the time, if you think about when a vampire bites you, either they kill you and you die ASAP, or you turn into one of them. But you don't always turn into that special one that they are, or the one that's above them. You turn into some like slave type, weirdo type slave of a vampire. So you see what I'm saying? You thinking that you're gonna get that goodness, but you're not getting it. You're not getting it, because you know why? You just a slave that vampire when you got bit. So you're just making a whole bunch of slaves, people around here hurting and killing, hurting, beating each other down over some bullcrap, thinking that they at a higher level, going down on that low vibration. And when you get to just spend in a high vibration and keep vibrating that, and good things always come to you. That's what people do. So hey, you know what? You can continue to keep doing that. For me, I'm not letting nobody sit around me with this bad energy no more. I want to take something bad from me, because guess what? You'll get broken up out of here. Most people that I get with on their streams, and people be talk crazy, I said, listen, don't make me a moderator, because I'll ban them quick. When you get this ban them for like 60 seconds, no, I'll ban them for good. So because when you do it once, you might do it again to me. There's always a possibility. Life Reality and Spiritual Journey said, yes, protect your energy. Your life depends on it. It depends on it much more now. That's why I said people that were in this quarantine, and I ended Quarantine Chronicles. That was a long one, and that was a long time. It'll go down in history as one of the best playlists out there, because there's a lot of meat in there. People won't get my stuff until maybe weeks later, years later, months later, but you'll get it, and people are going to come back. That's why I'm going to keep going, and people will be able to go, and I'll get better and better, and people can go back in my first things and be like, yo, he was so on point, and I'll get it better, and I'll be so better at delivering it, and I just trying to perfect it almost the best that I can, but I'm going to show you all the way through how I did what I did, and also by the time I get where I got to get, because I just want to help people, and that's something that I really like to do. And I like to run my giblets. I would like to run these so I can rock and roll, but I can also have co-hosts, and we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be having the guests on here. So, hey, that's the way it goes. But I'm going to break it down because I've been going extra long and I've been having real bad problems. I gotta get this other software because I've been going so long on my episodes because it's been getting better and better. Is that if it's hard for me to transfer my files because they're so big and I gotta break them down, put them in different files, send it, boop, bop. So I just gotta start doing like a time frame, like 35, 45 minutes, and I'm gonna cut it there. Anything after that, if I get like an hour or more ahead of that, then I'll start doing it in part one, part two series and start breaking it down like that. But I'm thinking of good ideas and good things are coming. But I'd like to thank everybody who came out for the Wiki Scheme podcast, episode 11. Just how to peep energy vampires in your circle ASAP. So y'all just protect y'all energy. Remember it. The 5 things. If you can't, just keep going back. When I edit it to the fullest, because I got a lot of stuff to edit. I'm like 3 or 4 videos behind. But but most of the time, it's going to get better because I'm going to start getting people to really do it. Love you too. I love you too, Justine. Jetty, love you. But I thank everybody for coming out, and we're going to get better, and we're going to have more people on it. There's going to be people editing it for me, so I'll be able to think better on the content, come with better guests, better topics. It's going to be really good, and things going to go down in history. And everybody that was there from the beginning, you're going to be very, very happy because it's going to go very far. But I love you. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next week, Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Weekly Scheme Podcast, episode 12, and it might be a great one. So be ready for that. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all later. Manson Musa Jr.'s out, the Weekly Scheme Podcast. See y'all later.